अच्छा, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ यूरेटेरिक बर्ड सबसे पहले बनता किस में है? एट द स्टार्ट ऑफ द 5th वीक, ठीक है. This should be the pelvis, future pelvis, and this is the future ureter. Then this is the cranial pole tubule, and 4th is the caudal pole tubule, 5 is again ureter. Then 6 is the cranial pole tubule, 7 are the central tubules, 8 is the caudal pole tubule, 9 pelvis, and 10 again ureter. Then 11 cranial pole tubule, 12 is again central tubule, 13 is the caudal pole tubule. These 14 are the secondary collecting tubules. 15 is the tertiary tubule. 14, 15, 16 is the pelvis, 17 is ureter. And then again 18 developing minor callus, 19 is the cephalic major. ये लेबलिंग किसी ने काटी भी है, ये नहीं ठीक. 19 is again collecting duct and the arc tubule, ये बन रहा है. This should be minor callus and this whole should be major callus, and this should be caudal major callus. This 20 vaginal major callus, 21 pelvis, 22 ureter. This should be caudal major callus. This should be cranial cephalic major callus.
Showing the development of the uretic bud. Development of uretic bud will give rise to the excretory portion of the kidney. Now this is 5 models are given. This is the pelvis, this is the ureter. Now this is the cranial pole tubules, this is the caudal pole tubules, because it is toward the tail and it is toward the head. This is again ureter. This is the cranial pole tubule, these are the central pole tubule. These are the caudal pole tubule, this is the pelvis, and this is the ureter. Now this is the 4th one. This is also showing the cranial pole tubule. These are the central pole tubules, both of them are the central pole tubule, and this is the caudal pole tubule. Now these two are the secondary collecting tubules, and these are the tertiary collecting tubules, pelvis and again the ureter. This is the final model. It is showing the formation of the calyx, the major and the minor. This is the major calyx, and this is the cephalic. This is the minor calyx. This is the cephalic major calyx, and this is the caudal major calyx. This is the pelvis and again the ureter.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
There is one.
The model demonstration of some of the nephrogenic organs and some of the reproductive organs. See? Okay, so this is the foregut developing into the esophagus. Focusing okay, press. Was show? This is the developing esophagus. This is the lung bud. The pronephros, mesonephros, and the metanephros. Stomach, developing liver, and this portion is the yolk sac. The urachus. This is the allantois. This yellow portion is the allantois, and allantois, yeah. And this is the midgut. The midgut, which leads into the omphaloenteric duct. Omphaloenteric ball model के ज़्यादा खाते. This is the midgut. ठीक है. The metanephric blastema, and the mesonephric duct. The mesonephric duct. Yeah. The mesonephric duct, the ureter, Sesha. The start show. This region represents the cloaca. Next model. Again, similar structures. Most of the structures they are similar. We have new additions. This is the ventral pancreatic duct. This is the cranial limb of the midgut loop. This is the caudal limb of the midgut loop, developing into the intestines, and again the allantois, the yolk sac. This is the omphalloenteric duct. The omphalloenteric duct. The urogenital sinus. This is the urogenital sinus, and again the metanephric duct. Yeah, this is the metanephric duct, also known as the ureteric bud. The metanephric duct, also known as the ureteric bud, and this is the metanephric blastema. The metanephric blastema. And this is again the mesonephric duct. Next. Okay. This is a developing gonad. The gallbladder, cystic duct, the dorsal pancreatic duct, the dorsal pancreatic bud, and this is the loop of the midgut. Again the allantois, the urogenital sinus, the rectum, developing kidney, metanephric tissue. Next gonad, metanephros blastema, the ureter, the urinary bladder, the genital tubercle, allantois, and I'm confused over here. There are two swellings, and one of the swelling is a cecal swelling. This can be either this one or this one. Represents the cecal swelling. This is the fused Mullerian ducts, also known as the fused paramesonephric ducts. This is the gubernaculum, and this is the intermediate mesodrum. Next one. The permanent kidney, testes, the appendix of the testes, the epididymis, the vas deferens. Here these structures they're not very clear, but on the key card they're shown as the prostate gland. This is the prostate gland. The bladder. This is the prostate gland. This is the seminal vesicle, and as my dear friend said, this is the urinary bladder. You don't say. This is the urethra, the penis, the rectum, the ureter, also known as metanephric duct. Last model. Okay, permanent kidney. The uterine tube, also known as fallopian tube, and this is the ovary, and this is the epuphoron, and this is the remnant of the mesonephros, in the female embryo. Uterine tube, the uterus, this is the uterus, urinary bladder, the urachus, this is the urachus, the clitoris, the vestibule, the vagina, the rectum, the ureter, and of course uterus, this region, this is the vagina, then this is the cervix, and this is the body of the uterus. Thank you very much.
Model.
This is the growth of metanephric diverticulum that gave rise to the permanent kidney. अच्छा, giving just come towards this model. यहाँ पे allantois है. This hole is urogenital sinus in which like further future ureter is going to open. Fine, allantois. 3 parts of the urogenital sinus can be distinguished: vesical part, pelvic part, phallic part. Okay, this is the rectum. Fine, this is the mesonephric duct. Fine, mesonephric duct on its distal part, ureteric bud or mesonephric diverticulum appears. Fine, that is going to form the excretory portion of the permanent kidney. Now come towards this. Again, this urogenital sinus is developed. Fine, rectum, mesonephric duct, ureter, pelvis. Fine, and the kidney. Again, we have the ureter, pelvis. Now here, what is cranial?
It's just the formation of calyx.
Okay, this is just the formation of pelvis. अच्छा, अब यहाँ पे क्या है? मुझे वो नजर नहीं आ रहा कि क्या लिखा हुआ है. अच्छा, this is ureter, this is the pelvis. It receives major calyces, and major calyces receives minor calyces. And in minor calyces, first of all, straight tubules enters, and in straight tubule, अच्छा, these are the arch tubules.
Arch collecting tubule.
Yes, that give that is going to join the straight tubules. Fine, that
Straight joint give rise, straight tubule give rise to minor calyx, major calyx, or pelvis.
Yes.
Or ureter, urinary bladder, urethra. Or this is the cord. This is the cephalic major calyx, or this is the
Yes, and the most important thing in this saga is this is the urogenital sinus that gave rise to the future urinary bladder.
This is
Mesonephric duct,
and this is the metanephric duct.
diverticulum.
Okay. चलो.
मोते अल्लाह पाक मुझे हिदायत रखी.
इसमें नंबर 1 mesonephric duct, नंबर 2 metanephric diverticulum और ureteric bud, फिर 3 जो है कॉमन क्लोएका हो जाएगा, और 4 टेल एंड ऑफ द एम्ब्रियो. बाकी दिस पर्पल इज़ द मिड गट. फिर ये एंटीरियरली यूरोजेनिटल साइनस रीजन, ये एलंटॉइस, और ये डार्क ब्राउन मेटानेफ्रोजेनिक ब्लास्टीमा, और बाकी साइड पे तो कैविटी हो जाएगी. अच्छा, देन इन दिस बी डायग्राम, this 5 again mesonephric duct, 6 is the pelvis of the ureter, 7 is the ureter, and this is the rectum, this is the urogenital sinus, while this is the common cloaca. 8 is the common cloaca. 8, the urorectal septum hasn't divided it completely into anterior urogenital sinus and posterior rectum. Again in this diagram, 9 is the pelvis of the ureter, 10 is the ureter. These are the developing major calyces, and this is the metanephric tissue. Then in this D diagram, again 11 is the cephalic major calyx, 12 is the caudal major calyx, and 13 is the pelvis of ureter, and 14 is the ureter itself. In this diagram, this 15 is the arced collecting tubules, bud of the arc collecting tubules. 16 are the collecting ducts or straight collecting ducts, primary straight tubules. Then this 17 is the minor callus, developing minor callus. 18 is again cephalic major calyx. 19 is the caudal major calyx. 20 is the pelvis. 21 is the ureter, and this 22 is metanephric tissue.
अच्छा, 11th is body of uterus, 12th is cervix, 13th is part of vagina that is derived from the paramesonephric ducts, and 14th is part of vagina that is derived from vaginal bulbs. Then we have definitive urogenital sinus, the pelvic part, but you should write it as urethra, ये सारा part, ठीक है? And definitive urogenital is phallic part. अगर इस part पे tag हो, so you should write urethra, फिर ब्रैकेट में लिखो derived from urogenital sinus, जो भी parts इसके हैं, ठीक है? हाँ, 17th clitoris, 18th is bladder, 19th is definitive urethra, वही बात, ठीक है? 20th is ureter, ठीक है? 21th is rectum, 22 is anal canal and 23 is symphysis pubis. ये आ जाएगा तो सिर्फ फिर शादी लिखना, बात कुछ नहीं लिखना क्योंकि इन्होंने जो 15 to 16 की यहाँ पे लेबल भी नहीं किया. ठीक है, तो बस इसमें ये ये clitoris 17. अच्छा 24th is body of uterus. बस okay. 24th is body of uterus. 25th is cervix. 26th is vagina, that is derived from paramesonephric duct. 27th is also vagina, that is derived from vaginal bulbs. 28th is hymen. 29th is vestibule. 30th
Vestibule of क्या?
Vestibule, female vestibule.
But just
vestibule. 30th is the corpus cavernosum of clitoris. 31 is urinary bladder. 32 32 is urethra. 33 is rectum. 34 is symphysis pubis. ये जगह anal canal है, ठीक है, और ये पूरा clitoris है.